This is James Storage here with Ninja Gaiden 3 on the Super Nintendo. Loading up Ninja Gaiden Trilogy here. And here we go, here's the title screen. As you can see, you select the game here. And there's Ninja Gaiden 3 now. Some of the differences between the Super Nintendo version and the NES version mainly go between the Japanese and the American games. Now, in the Japanese game, that basically every enemy did 1 damage, spikes did 1 damage and everything. This was taken out on the NES version and basically replaced with Ninja Gaiden 1 style damage, making the game an absolute terror to beat in the American version. Not only that, you had limited continue, making it really a pain in the neck. It was one of the games that I actually had to use on save states just to learn the last stage enough to beat it. I did all my runs on real systems though, but when I had to practice, it was hard enough that I couldn't use it on the original system. Now that I know it's a different story, but it's been a while. This run could probably be obsoleted by now. I've beaten the score on the NES, and with the damage difference, I could probably take some more chances that I didn't. Depends if I actually hit the timer on the last stage. That's an issue. Besides, I could probably take a few more chances and push my scores up. There is no orb recollection on this. 1 orb collected per life death, so I would really like to see a track where orb recollection would be allowed, but I don't know if it ever will. That's totally up to TG, and they seem to be going towards purist completion, which I have actually no interest in doing. I know some people do. Personally, me, no, I like using my ninja arts. I'm not actually going for that. See, and obviously you can see in the Super Nintendo version, the music has been remixed here, so I actually like the Super Nintendo track better than the Nintendo track. It actually sounds much better. But there are some people that don't like the Super Nintendo track. I don't know why, but I know Street Fighter 2 between the Genesis and the Super Nintendo also had the same issue too. That was mostly because Sony made the chip back then. Of course, you know how Sony and Nintendo get along now since that. So they stole make the PlayStation and everything like that, so I ran this game about 5 years ago now. I'm wondering if the difference is I can hit 1.40 million. I seriously doubt it. It would be nice to try, but my equipment's in such bad shape now that I don't know if I can do it. I would need a controller like New Edition to do it. I don't know where I can get Super Nintendo stuff offhand these days. It's pretty hard to get. And my Super Nintendo hasn't been booted up, so I could have lost save data and everything, so I don't know how that's really going to work out. Grab the art of the fire wheel there. And you can see one of the more annoying parts of the Ninja Gaiden game is the auto-scroll. Some of these stages had it, and that was one of the things that could make pressing and other things really hard. The NES version that the lava came up with you, and this not so much, but still same difference if you fall off the stage. I wonder if the redoing the graphics had something to do about it. Controls are slightly different between the NES and Super Nintendo version, but it shouldn't be. It is transferable. You should be able to play it afterwards. It's probably about the same going from main to arcade if you're doing something like Donkey Kong or something else. It's not hard. And you can kill those little fireballs for extra damage. This was the first of my really high Ninja Gaiden 3 scores. I wonder how high we could push the score on a 1 life. No more recollection. I wonder how much we could do that. That would certainly be a very interesting run. It would require a lot more planning and certainly entirely different. We would have to know which stage to do, and you obviously can't abuse stupid stuff with one life. It'd be similar to running Super Mario Brothers on TG settings, which I think is pretty fair. So I know areas where you could abuse one-ups and things like that in this game. Like, if I had unlimited lives, I could break this game like no tomorrow. Great ninja power there. Kill the fish. A little trickier on the NES. You have better sword range here. This always kills me. Whoa, that was lucky. Get the cheap points there. Hopefully I've given you enough backstory on this run. Why am I commentating it now? Probably because this run is obsolete, and I know some tricks that could probably push it a little farther. How much I could get it past the NES, I don't know. That would be certainly something to see. Obviously, I think I should do this run a little slower. Ow. Kill the enemies there. Story-wise, this game is not as good as the other Ninja Gaiden games. Basically, Shakio is nowhere to be found, there's no reference to him. And basically had a weird storyline. I don't know how it ties into the new Ninja Gaidens on Xbox. I heard on 3 they actually tried to tie the Ninja Gaiden series from the Xbox to Ninja Gaiden the NES. I still haven't played it, so don't spoil it for me. But I know for a while I didn't want to play the Xbox games or the PlayStation games because of the fact that they did not tie it in. I played Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword for the DS. It was decent. Can't remember the story too well, though. It's been a while. Of course, most DS games are unrunnable unless you have special equipment for stream, so I don't know if I'll be doing that one anytime soon. And also, they have fundamentally different controls than the NES version, so they play like two different games even though they have the same name. Don't know how interested I'd be doing a run of that. Dead enemy there. I don't remember there being any special tricks in this run except for the one on level 6 we'll go over later. Doppelgangers, one is invincible, one is not. You get the one that takes damage, and obviously in this one you can just power through it because you don't take the extra damage. Dead boss, and now we're moving on to level 4. It's actually interesting watching runs you did. I did this back in January of 2010. It's so old now. I think I did I forget when I did the ones for the NES. Either in 2011 or 2012. I shipped it off before TG went down because of all the issues and all the controversy. It took forever for it to get verified. I know the speed run was rejected, which was still not better than the SDA run, so if I do it, I'll try to improve on that. Guess they didn't really believe I did the NES run. My best time is 1922, which is nowhere near SDA level. But they accepted the score run, though I thought it was quite a fight to get it accepted. Being a lot of my scores got verified in a hurry, I guess the ref had some doubts to how I played the NES version. could really abuse the damage quota in this. I really need to look into it if I play this version again. Because the spikes only do 1 damage in the Super Nintendo version, and the Japanese version definitely could be exploitable. But don't quote me on that, because if you take too much damage, you have a broken run, you miss somewhere else. That's kinda it. Kill those stupid ships there. I know a lot of people have wanted to see this. I know I posted the NES run without commentary, but a lot of people wanted to hear my thoughts on certain areas of this. I guess this is my answer to a few requests. See, not a lot of great insight on it. A lot of this was execution and memorization. Took a spike hit there that would have killed me on the NES version. And here I did some running through the spikes of these. Can't do that in the NES either. And here I took a hit where I don't know if I could have on the NES either. That was some obvious damage abuse things. And now we start stage 5. You can really power through this stage here, but you can't do it on the NES. This is also a very big, difficult part running on the NES. I died here a lot in the beginning. Not terribly hard, just gotta make sure you don't fall in the pits. That's a big thing. I'm not sure how I feel that they changed the difficulty on the NES to begin with. I actually did beat it, but it makes me less wanting to run it in the future, because the Japanese is the source, and I think it should be as close to the Japanese as possible, language aside. Though for pure challenge, and Ninja Gaiden 3 on the NES is probably one of the ideal challenge games to kill that in. Oop, missed that. Climb up on that. Maybe that was a bad idea. Once again, just running through things with damage abuse on the NES, that probably would have been instant death. Okay. That was a nice trick. I don't remember doing that on the NES version. I think I actually had to play it safe there. Remember this stage on the NES, having to play very safe too. I think I played this very aggressively on this version. It's also nice having workable controls too. That's one thing I really didn't have on. I don't have on the Super Nintendo right now, with my controllers being kinda busted and everything. And killing some extra enemies here. Once again, probably a broken record, damage abuse being very much on display here. You can definitely see me killing some extra enemies, or me not take the chance on the NES to just simple damage things. There are those stupid disciplinary floors. I hate this part. I wonder if I could do better in... I wonder if I could do better in exploiting that area in the future. It's certainly something to look into. But it is dangerous. I don't know what the feeling of changed difficulty is on what people think about it between Japanese and American versions. I know there have been other localization changes, mainly language and offensive material. The difficulty is, I don't know if there's really any right to change the game. It's easy, if it's hard, it's hard. Not the biggest fan of easy games, but... Remember this guy being a pain on the NES. His hitbox is bigger, I think. Or you could just abuse him here. Especially here. Save some time, get some extra. Wait some time. And here we go, stage 6. Now this is one of the biggest changes between the NES and the Super Nintendo. The controls can be quite lousy here on the Super Nintendo. You have to get used to it. And you have to take it kind of slow, because you just don't know how it's going to control. This is a major adjustment playing between the two versions. Once again, not impossible once you get used to it. Once again, you can abuse damage here in this area where if you try this on the NES version, you're just going to get absolutely destroyed. Funny, this actually might be seen like more of a speed run than points runs on here. Once again, a hit that I probably shouldn't take on the NES version, but I can easily do it here. Kill the enemies for extra points. And right into the door. Once again, using a short jump to short-change controls that are pretty bad in this stage. If you want cleaner controls in the ice stage, definitely play the NES version. Eh, probably should have got that. I think I got that item in NES from here correctly, though. Now here we go, one of the biggest abuses in the game. 6263. I personally think this should be banned. I think it's a cheap trick, but I'll tell you when I see it on display. Definitely kill those enemies. Extra points, thank you. Definitely don't like the falling mechanics in this stage. If you stay in one place too long, you're gonna fall through. Once again, you have to play this very carefully on the NES because of damage. If you play it recklessly, you're gonna get killed. I had many deaths on the boss alert in the game on the NES. Don't necessarily have that here. And here's the boss. Definitely get around him. Once again, you can see where the damage would be an issue on the NES. And this is the trick I think should be banned. After you kill the boss, you can end up falling through the stage. You would die here, and with the 5 lives, you could abuse killing the boss a few times. And that is over, and that is like 80,000 to 100,000 points a shot. It's really cheap. I think it should be thrown out, but TG accepted it. I don't know why. So basically, that's the big trick to make or breaking my scores in Ninja Gaiden 3. Basically, that stage 6 abuse. I'm amazed my NES card hasn't been matched by now. It's stood up since for like 3 or 4 years. And considering Juan Castellanos and others have been playing the game, I'm surprised that hasn't beat the one is still sticking over the Orb Collection disqualification. I don't know if it's exactly his fault, but just one of those things they have had. They also had it with Candelabra in Castlevania. I think it's a stupid rule. I think it should be thrown out, especially that we have a timer here, but oh well, rules are rules. If we really want, we can make a full run using that for a casual run. I'm pretty sure of it. Kill all the enemies here. To get a lot of hits there. Get rid of them as soon as possible. Again, die there. And also, you notice sometimes after you start stages, you get a slight slowdown after you begin the game with Super Nintendo. This is also non-existent on the NES version. Don't know if it's existent on the Japanese version, but until I can get a Famicom and try it out, I'm certainly not going to be able to do that. Using the up and down there to kill a lot of enemies for a lot of points. I forget what that's called. It's basically a vacuum wave of some type. Kill those enemies. Kill these enemies here. Once again, doing the jump technique here because if you fall through, you're done for. Especially here where there's no room for error. A lot of points here. And third time facing the boss. Okay, that's the third time dead, so now we're moving into the fourth run. I wonder if one day I'll infinite loop it into like 9 million points. That would actually be kind of funny. I remember infinite looping the Turtles in Time to 3,000 points. But even though not tournament legal, is still the highest existing score in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did it for about an hour straight. So I'm pretty sure that some arcade player would certainly have something to say about that if they really tried. Definitely some dead enemies there. Jumpy hitboxes there. Hate that. That's what happens when your hitboxes move too fast. That they don't pick up, and it looks like they had Art of the Firewheel on the individual fireballs instead of firewheels, so that probably led to that. Die again. That's the fourth time. Ow. So this is my last life. If I die here, I'm done. Once again, a short ninja slice there. And you notice that red ninja power fills you up rather than the 10 that was in Ninja Gaiden 1 for those new to Ninja Gaiden 3 and don't know how the items work. Okay, this should be the last time through this stage. If I die again, I'm done. Dead enemies. Okay, trigger him so I don't get killed. And once again, wait for him to come over. And once again, 5th time playing this boss. I wonder if on the NES version, on the Super Nintendo version, you could have used those things falling down. You can't do it on the NES version with some pure damage output, but I wonder if you could take the Art of the Firewheel and just nail a few of those things. Certainly would be worth investigating into, but I don't know if it would outdraw the power of time. Certainly something to do if you're save stating that part of the game. This stage is annoying. You have wind blowing you back. It's the same on both the NES and the NES. So once again, damage abuse is going to be in full display here. If I took these type of hits I did on the NES version, I'd certainly be dead in the water, but once again, we don't want that. Firewheel abusing is very critical to Stage 7 if you wanted to get it done on time, which is a big problem with running this stage. Okay, Stage 7 too. One thing you'll notice about Ninja Gaiden 3 is the time does not reset between stages, so Firewheel running is very important. As you can see, I'm not going to go on major enemy killing sprees here. I'm just going to run the Firewheel, take as much as I humanly can. Obviously fill up there. Damage abuse here. Once again, use the fire wheel to avoid the damaging electric. Once again, I do not have a life to spare, so if I don't fire wheel here, I'm essentially dead. This might look more like a speedrunning tactic, but to abuse that life trick I had in the original stage, in stage 6, that I have to be able to do this. I know, it sucks, it's cheap, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Each run has its own unique things, so... Don't have time to get that one up. Here's a music change. This is a different song on the NES version, but they repeat probably the best song in the game here, so no complaining. Don't have time to get that red power up, unfortunately. Damage abuse in full force. And once again, running the fire wheel here. Once again, time being an issue. And I need more ninja power here, so I've got to wait there. That kind of sucks. Ooh, doggies. There's some ninja power, that's good. Waste a little time here, this will certainly be improved. Once again, abuse the fire wheel, skip the spikes, get done on time. Recurring theme, but it's the way it goes. See, I'm down to 70 seconds. It's really scary. You got 3 bosses to go through. Now it doesn't matter. You still want to get through in time. Part of the fire wheel for the final battle. Get some ninja power. This is nastier on the NES, but you really can't take hits. You can power through hits here. Dead boss. Okay, part 2. And once again, on the NES version, you gotta watch this. You can power through on the Super Nintendo version. "36 seconds left, can I do it?" Once again, this is using the part of the fire wheel too. Don't know if you can do that in the NES version so well, Okay, and this boss flashes on the NES version, so... Once again, trying to avoid getting hit. And taking what, about 5 seconds to repeat. That's pretty cool. Okay, and I'll leave you to watch the credits. If you have any questions or things about the run, you can leave a comment or email me at nightmare.js@gmail.com. Enjoy the ending. This is James Sword signing off. Bye!